FL-10. Willie, welcome to the show. What are you doing this week to save America?
Well, team building. We have a lot of work to do. We are, only a few months, well, less than a few months away
Mhm.
from the general. It's going to take a lot of work for us to be able to defeat our now Democrat opponent for November. So we're going to work hard. We're having some team meetings starting tomorrow, and we're going to do everything possible to cover our district. We have a huge district, and we have a lot of ground to cover.
Tell me about Congressional District 10. Give me some areas, some cities.
You have from Christmas, Bithelo, Wedgefield, so all the way up towards East Side, towards UCF, all the way back down Pine Hills. You have Winter Park, Maitland, those areas like that. So it's about 900,000 constituents that need to be covered.
Wow, goodness. Okay, so I love the fact you said team building because you just had a primary, you had an opponent, you won 53-46, whatever percentage. So it seemed pretty close. I noticed in Central Florida, typically the Republican Party stays out of the primary, typically, but there's some different clubs that did some endorsements, and I know there's some drama with all that. Are we all past that? I love the fact that the first thing you said was team building.
Um, I
How's that looking?
Well, Jason, I hope we're actually past that. I've the Florida party, the Florida GOP, has put up a graphic last night.
Mhm.
I was contacted by the chair of the Orange GOP, which is our local Republican Executive Committee. However, the other organizations that we were having some issues, I have not heard from
Mm.
anyone from them or my opponent for that matter. So I'm hoping that we can move forward because most people didn't know this in April. And I shared this during the whole campaign before election that in April of this year, we had a conversation with several of the candidates, supposed to be four candidates at the same time. So
Mm.
I spoke with all of them, asking them, "Hey, let's just get behind me. Let's win. The demographics fit myself, and I'll be able to go toe to toe with Maxwell Frost." So two of those candidates decided to drop out to support me. One, which we just had his primary for, did not. That's when those groups got involved.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that we can really move past this and we all work together because we cannot afford to this if any time is going to be a vulnerability for the left in Orange County to really flip it back red, is going to be November, and we're going to have to take all of the registered Republicans, the 214 or 17,000 that there are, and we're going to need all of the NPAs.
Mhm.
Well, not all of them, but we need majority of the
Yes.
NPAs, and of course some of those moderate Democrats that do not like the progressiveness of Maxwell Frost. So I think that this is, or I know that this is a winnable seat, no matter what the statistics look like as far as being blue. But even those who are Democrats do not like how far left
Yeah.
that Maxwell Frost is.
In a lot of the trainings we do, we talk about the fact that our greatest opportunity for victory to get somebody as closest to our principles happens in the primary. And then after that, it is, this left versus right. Was there really that much of a difference between you and your opponent in the primary? Was there much of a difference? And, can you guys just kind of come together on the differences?
Well, him and I mean, we sat down a couple of weeks ago, right before it was time for the actual election. We had coffee. We
Mhm.
spoke with another state representative who was surprised how well we got along.
Mhm.
So the only difference that I would say is that when it came down to policy, I don't believe that he really had the policy down pat. He had the passion and the heart
Mhm.
and his desire. So it's not something where we were like so different. And I'll preface this with saying that a lot of it was more about Willie's personality because I'm just not a I'm not a person that get along with just whatever is told for me to do. It has to,
Right.
one, line up with my biblical values. Two, it has to make sense for the whole district. This has been a 4-year journey for me,
Mhm.
and I have refused to give up. So I think that if people say, okay, you know what is there to lose as the party. Like it would make no sense for the party as a whole not to get. And we already heard that Evan Powers, who is our chair for the state party, had already said he was going to jump behind whoever won the primary. And I was told by that particular group as well. So I'm
Yeah,
waiting. I'm giving it a couple of days. I know people have to digress and
sure.
and let it register. I know
Yeah,
right now we're in a very heated commission district 1 race
I
that
saw that.
is like, yeah, so right now everybody's like, we got to recount, we got to make sure. So I think that once that is already declared, I think that we'll start seeing everybody, start moving for our general
Right.
election.
Yeah, it'll be a good test of people's integrity because I mean, yeah, we're on the right, we're fiercely independent and we kind of, get behind a horse and we're like really for that, but then it takes a little bit, to realize, look, we do have a greater enemy. We have a common enemy, and that is this progressive left. Tell me more about so he Maxwell Frost is the incumbent. He's there now. His
Mhm.
voting records for all to see.
Right. Hmm.
One thing that makes me nervous looking at the numbers, however, the numbers that you had, what, 11,179 according to this site here, 9,000 for the opponent. Maxwell Frost had 33,000 votes in the primary.
Yeah, we
What
only had
happened to
about
turnout?
Right. Turnout for Republicans was absolutely horrible. We had about 20,000 total that came out, and then 40,000 for the Democrats. So they doubled us in their turnout. There is a Republican voter apathy right now. I think a lot of it. Now, this is what I'll say, and most people know that I have no problem talking about my faith in Christ.
Hmm.
What I believe that has. I believe that my race in particular for me was to be an example of just believing and have faith. And so I looked at all the comments on my Facebook page, and a lot of people like, our votes do matter now. I can see because I think people was looking to say, Willie, if this is another one of those years where they're playing with you, we know you're the best person. They don't want, you know, these people are like, that's it. I don't want to do it. So a lot of people are like, I have faith now. So I believe we're going to see something different in November. I just think that a lot of people was watching to see if it was going to be another one of those, trickeries, because that's what happened in 2022. A lot of the true bona fide Christian, conservative, non-establishment candidates lost. And
Hmm.
then people are like, this is rigged. Like there's no like we is none of the people we need are winning. And so we saw that different. Like one of the school board seats, which we were Kyle Gowdy, like that was huge. So that's another principled conservative individual that's on the
Hmm.
school board, which we need here in Orange County. So I think it's going to be a bigger turnout, or I pray to be a bigger turnout. I mean, we have 200 plus thousand registered Republicans.
Hmm.
It makes no sense where those Republicans should not
Wow.
come out and vote. So
10%.
yeah.
Goodness gracious. Tell me, registered Democrats in that district, more or less.
It is definitely more, but they are under 40% registered. But our numbers, the greatest place where we're going to find the help we need is going to be with the NPAs, because
Yes.
they out. I think it's, and I don't
Yeah,
quote
yeah,
me,
that's all right. Just give
but
me
it's about 250,000 registered NPAs.
yeah.
Now these are more than likely Republicans who just tired of they're not going to be Democrats. They're just a little weary of the Republican Party.
Yes.
So I believe they're going, and unfortunately, they cannot vote in the primary, but they can vote in the general. So I
Yeah.
think you're going to see a big
Yeah,
lineup
turnout, yep.
turnout for these individuals who are the NPAs, who are Republicans at heart, mind, and spirit. They just didn't want to align with a party this go around.
Yeah, when you're talking to organizations for the next several months, starting off with, look, they had 40,000 people show up. Republicans, we had 20,000.
Right.
We got we have to make up the difference here
Yeah.
in a very big way. We've got to get passionate about this. Because I was looking at the numbers of Orange County. This is a while ago. I was doing a presentation on this. Roughly 750,000 people registered to vote, 750. Say, call it 200,000 Republicans, 320,000 Democrats, but there was 240,000 independents. There were more independents than registered in the party. And when you ask most local GOPs, what's your strategy? What's your mission? Our mission is to get Republicans elected. How? Making sure Republicans show up to vote. And I've been telling people all the time, if 100% of Republicans show up, that's still 65% of Democrats. You've got to have a strategy to reach the NPAs, the
Right.
people who are, as you said, they're probably Republicans, but the Republican Party, with their wishy washiness over the several years, have given them no reason to be a part of the party. How do you
Right.
reach out to, call it the middle, but the NPAs, the no party affiliation? How do you reach out to them?
Well, as I stated, and I keep saying it because I love what Dr. Ben Carson said, there's a left wing, right wing, and it takes
Yeah,
both to fly. And I believe in that middle, we do have the NPAs, and I do believe that the best way to reach out is to let them know that this is not left versus right. And I said this yesterday to Univision. I told them, I said, this is a battle of what is right and what is wrong.
yeah,
And anyone from whatever party that looks at the things that are happening in the United States of America to sit back and think that it is right for some of the things that we see, it is not. And so I think that's how the NPAs is going to be like, listen, we may not agree on every single thing, but we do agree that what we have as a representative as of today is not representing the party representing the whole district as a
right,
whole.
right,
I said this very clearly. Maxwell Frost is a party affiliate candidate, meaning that his whole focus is on bashing the Republican Party,
right.
lifting up the Democrat Party. The Orlando Sentinel consider him the juggernaut of the party, and I said, well, we're going to have two juggernaut for Republicans and juggernaut for Democrats. But I look at it like this: I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody on any platform, any position that they take. That does not mean I'm going to compromise my morals and my beliefs, but I'm willing to say, what is it that you think is actually different from these two sides? And that's what I think the NPAs are looking for. What makes you different? Tell me what rules it out. Because at first it was
Right.
like, okay, well, he's young, he's drawn that. Well, I'm 30, I'm a millennial, so we're not that far apart. So I'm like, he's a millennial, I'm a millennial, he's a Gen Z. So I look at this as an opportunity to say, let's bring some maturity. Let's look at this as a community effort because the people in this district, they're suffering at the gas pumps, they're suffering at the grocery stores, they're suffering all across the board. And he's more concerned about climate change. And as someone stated, like, when I go to the grocery store, I'm not saying, hey, the sun is so hot today, I can't buy a loaf of bread.
Right.
That is not what's on our mind. So
Yeah.
and I think that he's so concerned about attaching himself to some type of radical left
Right.
strategy that he cannot focus that what is the party overall saying, what are they doing, how do we do this, how do we grow, how do we mature from this. And he's a speaker at the DNC, so I don't know if he's already spoke. I haven't been watching, I've been focused on the campaign. So
Yeah.
whenever he speaks, he is actually a headline speaker. I definitely want to do some commentary because I'm pretty sure the speech is going to be all evolving, how destructive he wants to be for the
Yeah.
country. So
Yeah, I would definitely go line by line and just, hit pause, rebuttal, hit pause,
yeah.
rebuttal, and that would be great. People in the district, has he put out any statements regarding the numbers being reversed? Was 800 and some almost 900,000 jobs?
Mhm.
I don't understand how that works. They put out these jobs numbers and a few months later they correct them by almost 900,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that's, has he had any statements on this? Have you put out
Uh,
any statements on it?
I haven't yet. Like I said, just getting
Yeah.
over this a lot. I am going to spend some time. Hopefully, you will bring some people on our team for policy. As I said, team
Mhm.
building that we could be able to get some of this thing out there. I think that his focus when I saw his page recently is the same thing. So he puts out what is necessary to make him
Yeah.
seem like he's the good guy. So I'm going to go look and see, and hopefully we'll be able to. Nothing that he says is going to be anything that is
Yeah.
have teeth to the righteousness of the district. So
Yeah. Well, you're gonna need a grassroots army. I know you said before in a couple different posts, he's got a, treasure trove of, dollars in there, and
mhm.
somewhere there's a formula that says this many campaign dollars is equated to this many campaign volunteers, and I pray that you get the volunteers out there
Right.
to help you and to win this thing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I do believe, as I said, Here in Orange County, waiting for this commission district to finish. They're going to
Mhm.
do the recount, and I believe that I just received an email right before we got on about from the chairs just saying that, hey, click and volunteer. It's time to make sure that all of these candidates who won their primaries must, we must focus on it. And so I think that this is the
Yeah.
time we got to put all the differences aside from all the organizations. And at the end of the day, you know, we fought hard. This,
Mhm.
this race was definitely a race of faith. And so I'm saying we gotta do what we have to do because
Yeah.
November's around the corner, and I do absolutely believe that we can win
Well,
this.
this will be a real test of the character of the Republicans in the district to unite behind you to make sure that Maxwell Frost is defeated. So I
Yes.
wish you the best of luck. I'll be praying for you. God bless you, brother.
Thank
This segment brought to you by the Remembrance Project, theremembranceproject.org.